Moments later, I began to open my eyes little by little, finding that the fire trapped me everywhere, and the house was crumbling around me. So, I struggled to stand, despite my suffocation with smoke, and tried to reach the nearest window in the room. But suddenly, a piece of wood fell over my head, and knocked me to the floor as a dead body. I thought my death time had come, and my cognition was separated from the world. But God gave me a second chance to survive, and I opened my eyes this time inside a hospital room. On my side, Adam was talking to the doctor, who told him that I was past the risk stage, even though I had a few minor burns on my face and whole body. I took a look at Adam patting me on the shoulder, and trying to support me with all his might, but I couldn't recognize him. I asked him surprisingly who he was, and why he had burns on his body as well. The doctor realized that I had temporarily lost memory, because of the blow to my head, and reassured me that the situation was normal, so I would be able to remember in a short time. It's been a week in the hospital, and my fiancé came to visit me as usual, and tried to remind me of some things we've lived together. But this time, he brought with him our photo album, and there was a suspicious picture that shows me riding on the horse with Adam, and another lady standing near us, and staring at me with murderous glances. I asked him about that girl, and he told me she was Stephanie, my loyal maid that I've always loved. It sounded so strange, so I asked him again why this maid didn't come to visit me as long as our relationship was exceptional. But he said in an angry tone, that she was busy with her new life after giving her all my wealth. And immediately, I remembered where Stephanie had put my fingerprints on administrative papers, with a sinister smile, and I realized that she had plotted to get rid of me and take all my money. My heart was beating fast, and I got back all the memories of the incident, so I told my fiancé about the details. But he interrupted my words and assured me that his doubts were correct. On that fateful day, Adam had come to visit me and tried to fix our relationship, but the guard told him that I had left the house secretly with Stephanie hours earlier, while it was the day of the servants' vacation. Adam felt there was something wrong, and after asking about me most of my friends, he didn't find me. So, he thought of looking again at my grandfather's farm. And eventually, he found me lying on the floor in the middle of the fire, and saved me before it was too late. Then, I realized that my fiancé was right from the beginning, and I started thinking about a solution, to revenge and recover my property from that evil maid. Stephanie didn't know that I was alive, because the police were still looking into the matter, and they couldn't prove my identity in the hospital, because of the burns that made me lose my handprints. And after I retrieved all these bad memories, I hid it from the doctor, and I agreed with my fiancé to escape before the police arrived to interrogate me. So, I sneaked out of the hospital, and went to hide in Adam's apartment. The police suspected that the incident was just an alleged suicide, because of the medicine bottle they found in my room, but the absence of my body kept baffling them. In the other side, Adam was maintained his claim of sadness over my disappearance in front of Stephanie, while we plot for revenge. And within a few weeks, the police retracted the investigation, and the maid thought she had finally managed to get rid of me. But the truth, that my disappearance is just a pre-storm calm. We waited for the sunset, then we went to my mansion where Stephanie became living. Then Adam asked to meet her, and they sat together to complain about the deep pain of losing me. But that big old grudge made Stephanie advise him to forget me, because I intended to break up with him before the incident. Then, she started insinuating her great admiration for his character, while Adam tries to distract her as we planned. I couldn't resist my jealousy on my fiancé, so I rushed to implement the plan before committing a crime against her. And immediately, I turned the lights off, and I made some scary noises from my phone. In that great moment, I knew very well that the maid would be in a state of panic, and I was having too much fun watching her, because she had a phobia of ghosts, and believed so much in the fact of their existence. So, I took advantage of her weaknesses as she did me in the past. Moments later, I turned on the lights and walked up to her with scary death looks. Stephanie froze in her place from the shock, because the scars on my body and the horrific appearance I looked, were enough to make her believe the whole trick we made. And as expected, her face turned quite pale as death, and she stuttered in the speech as she asked Adam if he saw me too. But Adam pretended not to see me, and kept calming her down and convincing her she was just hallucinating. Suddenly, Stephanie fainted on the couch and I was out of the house with an evil laugh. That wasn't the only time I terrified the maid by returning from death for revenge. Rather, I tried to intimidate her at every possible opportunity. So, the poor woman began to take hallucination treatment pills, and attending therapeutic sessions with a group of psychiatrists over the town. But no use. Because she actually doesn't fancy. She really sees me. But nobody believes her, and everyone thought she was really crazy. The days have passed, and Stephanie became lonely in this world. And servants no longer dare to enter her house, because of a rumor that my ghost lives there. On the Halloween night, Stephanie decided to organize a dance party at home. And everyone agreed to attend it because it was the ideal place for horror. So, the guests arrived in time, and the party started as planned by Stephanie, but she hadn't planned for my return that night either. After going up to her room to arrange her makeup, she found me lying in bed, and staring at her with my creepy face. She rushed to take the pills as she does every time she sees me, and according to the doctor's instructions, she started encouraging herself to approach me until she get rid of fear. But once she touched my face, and discovered the fact of my existence, she felt dizzy and her limbs totally spasmed. And then, she fell to the floor without any slightest movement. I looked at her, with an evil smile, and I told her that I had replaced her pills with the same drug she had used to sedate me. The next move was to grab her hand, and put her fingerprints on some administrative papers, in which Stephanie ceded all her property to me. And eventually, I left as soon as she lost consciousness, with no trace of my existence. Moments later, Stephanie woke up to find the police waiting for her. Then, I told everyone about her heinous act, and she kept screaming and laughing like mad, saying that I couldn't be alive, because she left me in the middle of fire. So, the police considered that speech as she confessed her crime, and they took her to spend the rest of her life in a mental hospital, after losing everything she had, because of her envy toward me without any apparent reason. While I completed my wonderful life with my loyal husband, Adam.